Hey everybody, this is Leslie and you're watching Midlife and Nailing It. If you could please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, I'd really appreciate it. Today I am starting a new series that I'm starting fresh in 2020. Every month I'm going to post a video and the series is going to be called 5 Genres, 5 Books. Okay, so the first book that I want to talk about is from the genre mystery, and it is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. You usually cannot go wrong with an Agatha Christie book. I think I read it in one day. I couldn't put it down. It's super fun and exciting. It's everything a classic mystery would be. It's emulated time and time again. Some of the current works that I can think of, Clue or Knives Out, if you've seen that recently. You've got the big, huge, house that's secluded, and there's a bunch of people staying at the house, and there's mystery about why are they there, who has them there, why would they even go there. I don't want to give too much away, but it's quite a mystery trying to figure out what is going on. It is one of my favorite mysteries ever written. This book, And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, is a tremendous mystery read. The next genre is historical fiction. The book I picked for that is Kitchen God's Wife by Amy Tan. It's almost a book within a book. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of times when she writes, there's a storyline going on that's current, and then there's a flashback to like very hard times in China. The Kitchen God's Wife takes place in California in the 90s, but it only kind of takes place there. There's like a storyline going on between mother and daughter, and the daughter is like midlife, dealing with her mom, and her mom has some medical things going on. Her mom's an older lady, and boy does she have quite a story that she never wanted to burden her daughter with, and she decides to tell her that story. And of course, when she does, you're into this huge story that takes place in China in, early, probably like the 30s, 20s. I can't remember exactly, but it's around there. And the way women were treated and everything she went through. And it is scary, horrific, and but boy, is it eye-opening. Boy, does it teach empathy. It is important to read stuff like this, especially when you are a woman, in my opinion. You need to know what other women in other cultures have gone through. Some things aren't much different, unfortunately. A lot of things have changed, but I feel like we need to know where we've come from, how far we've come, and how far we still need to go. And I feel like books like these are so very important. Again, you cannot go wrong with anything Amy Tan writes. She is one of the best writers of our time, for real. So be sure to check out something from her soon. So my next genre is memoir. This book is tremendous. It was made into a movie. The movie is tremendous as well. That is rare, but in this case, I don't know if you like to see the movie first. If you do want to even do that, maybe you only want to do a book, or you only want to do the movie, or whatever you like to do first. I tend to want to read a book first, and then I'll watch the movie. Angela's Ashes by Frank McCourt. Oh my gosh, guys. Again, with empathy, you're going to probably see, because I can't help it, a lot of my books, empathy with a lot of books, a lot of works, it weaves its way in, and we're always, when we read, good, bad, or ugly, learning about other people, other cultures, other things that are different from us. It is so very important so we can relate to other people, because there's so much we can relate on no matter who we are, right? So this book takes place in Ireland during the Great Depression, and if you don't know a lot about history in Ireland during that time, people were starving, man. Like, it was bad. Like, it was bad here. I don't know if someone can say it's worse or better, probably depending on family, but it was super bad as well. And you follow this family. Angela's the mom, And it really, gosh, the way it's written, it brings you in. You know Scrooge, when he's looking down at the Cratchit family and he can see the things that they're going through and their struggle and whatever? That is what it feels like when you read this book. Very important to read about other places and other times in history, and to learn from it, and to develop empathy and understand your parents and your grandparents better when you do that. So I highly, highly, highly recommend Angela's Ashes. Okay, so for the classic genre for this month, I went with The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. It is like a coming of age book. The main character in the story has just graduated college, which was, you know, rare during her time period. It takes place in 1953. I believe she's from Boston. I might be wrong on that, but I think her family's from Boston. And she actually, right after graduation, gets to go to New York City for a month and kind of do what we would call an internship with a famous women's magazine there, and it's not coming to my mind. But so that is kind of where the book takes place. It's kind of her struggle just as a woman trying to become what her dreams are. You know, she wants to be a writer, just trying to get her feet into that industry kind of, and it's not going so well. This causes like a depression type situation. It kind of reminds, I don't want to give too much of it away, but it kind of reminds me, the equivalent would kind of be The Catcher in the Rye if it was a male. I see similarities in the two anyways. So yeah, or The Graduate even, it's kind of like that struggles there, and then on top of it being a woman in 1953. So yeah, so this book is a very good read. It's a fast read as well. I really enjoyed it. To end with, I have a fun fiction book, and I went ahead with Angry Housewives Eating Bonbons by Lorna Landvik. Okay, so when I read this book, it was actually for a book club that I was in when I lived the West Coast, kind of out there. Give too many details about where I used to live or whatever. I lived way out way, and I had just joined a book club, and my kids were very, very little babies, and I stayed at home with them for a few years, and so I didn't get out much, and I read a lot of, you know, Dr. Seuss and, you know, all that kind of stuff, Goodnight Moon, all those kinds of things, and I wasn't reading as much as I normally did, and I was kind of getting lost and all that. People with young kids, you know what the heck I'm talking about, and all of us that have been through it know what I'm talking about. So, especially if you stay home, not that there's anything wrong with staying home or working, but when you stay home, you're kind of like in baby land all the time, and a couple weeks go by, you'd be like, when's the last time I even talked to another adult that doesn't live in this house? and you realize it's been a while. So, I was missing all of that, and I joined a book club, and it was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. It's about 5 friends, and I believe they're all neighbors is how they meet, like in a neighborhood, raising their kids, whatever. 5 friends, and it takes place over the course of 3 decades. So by the time the end of the book is, you know, towards the end, some of them have grandkids. They've gone through husbands, a few of them. They have, you know, different things that happen, like when their kids are little. Like, it's a whole thing, and I really kind of liked it. I mean, I lived in a neighborhood. I had joined a book club in my community. It's about the time Desperate Housewives came out. I was watching that. I was watching Army Wives. I kind of was all in that, you know, wife and baby mode and all that kind of thing. And this book is has very hilarious parts. It has serious parts, but it's about the friendships. Whatever would happen in those 3 decades, like, is in there. So, and how friends can be there that have been your friends a really long time and almost be like family. Watching each other's families grow when you're in a neighborhood, that sort of thing. So those are my 5 choices for January, and next month I will have another video on 5 more choices. All right, book people, fellow readers, read on, and I will see you soon.